John and Ken Show. John Cobell and Ken Shampoo. KFI AM 640 here.
Yeah, we just got done talking to a President Trump administration person by the name of Adam Kennedy, Deputy Assistant to the President and Deputy Director of Communications, about the border emergency declaration, the wall money that Trump wants, the stats that came out this week that we're seeing the biggest surge in 12 years. And it's a lot of Central American people, and it's a lot of families, women and children, because the smugglers know that's the best way and the best chance you have of getting to the border and getting into the United States and getting to stay. And two things are happening. First, from opposite land, guess who was at the border today? The California-Mexico border in San Ysidro. Newsom. He met at a restaurant with people this morning, and he wants to discuss the impact. Oh, it's a round table to discuss the impact that President's so-called national emergency is having on border communities. Hey, nice timing, too, you idiot.
You see, but
even the mainstream media admits there definitely is a big surge going on at the border. Trump ain't making this up.
You had a report that nobody disputes. Their government numbers, 76,000 people.
We're on the way to 1 million for the year.
Right.
That's where we are right now.
76,000. And remember, they're apprehended, but most of them are declaring asylum. So they're not thrown back over the border, which is what you can do with Mexican immigrants. You can apprehend them and immediately send them back. But most of these people are from Guatemala or Honduras or El Salvador, and if they yell asylum, and especially if they have kids, then everybody's protected. Everyone is allowed admittance, and many of these people never show up for their hearing, and a lot of these people who do show up for the hearing are denied. Over 80% are denied asylum. So, I mean, it's clearly a bad system. And so, of course, you're going to get abuse. And we have the abuse. It's been documented. And Gavin Newsom goes out, and he can read the newspaper. I don't know. He says he has trouble reading. He says he has dyslexia, and he has a hard time reading.
He did have trouble in school.
I'm not going to assume that he read and understood what was in the paper. But somebody, I'm sure he knows of this report. And then he goes out anyway and does this stunt to pretend that there is no emergency. You don't have an onslaught of illegal immigrants at the border. So he's just intentionally lying and deceiving. He knows it's going to get covered, and he knows it's going to be presented as an equal counterpoint to what the Border Patrol is reporting.
We're going to hear him because he's a hip, cool guy. He put out a Twitter video. And by the way, the press release that he put out about this event today, it's California All. Hashtag California for All? What, you mean the world?
Yes.
That's what you're saying, everybody.
Yeah, everybody who gets over. Everybody who gets through.
This idea of celebrating diversity and everything is for everybody has gotten out of control.
It is completely overwhelming the entire society here.
Here is the idiot and the blusterer. Let's see if he makes any sense talking about no emergency.
So right here on the Mexican border, you see the Mexican sign right to my left. We're here in San Ysidro, right at one of the busiest crossings in the United States, arguably the busiest border crossing in the United States. Try to put a different, try to highlight a different story as it relates to what's going on here between Mexico and the United States and the economic vibrancy that is demonstrable here at the border and the trade back and forth into Mexico every day, and into the United States every day. American citizens going into Mexico, Mexican citizens coming into California legally on a daily basis. It is a very different story than the one you're hearing out of Washington, D.C.
You dumb cluck.
Wait a minute. Let's just evaluate that 43 seconds because that was really a turd. I mean, he dropped a news of the obvious turd. I'm here at the border at San Ysidro, which is the legal crossing, and we're watching the commerce go back and forth legally. That's not the national emergency. No, what Trump's talking about is going on in places like Texas, and it is illegal immigration. And it is a surge of people, which has now been supported by the numbers, the highest in 12 years. A lot of them families trying to get into the country illegally and claim asylum. So he goes to a legal crossing point. He's like that. Remember that dopey CNN reporter a few months ago who stood at one point of the border and said, nothing going on here. I guess there really isn't an emergency because we don't see anybody trying to cross illegally.
That kook, what's his name? Jim Acosta.
It was Jim Acosta.
Jim Acosta. Yeah.
Where I'm standing right now, nothing's going on, so therefore there's no emergency.
He was standing next to the border fence.
I know.
That's why there was nobody trying to come over there. That's the whole point is Trump wants to get a border fence like the one Acosta was standing next to all across the border.
So this boob is standing at a legal crossing watching trucks come in with the commerce and Trump's going to end all that if he clamps down on illegal immigration. No, not really.
No, not at all.
It doesn't have to have any connection at all to that.
There's legal commerce and then there are illegal immigrants who are seeking asylum and getting away with it.
Meanwhile, a stunner this afternoon, the three-judge panel of the U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, believe it or not, has made a decision where if you're an illegal immigrant and you come here and you claim asylum and you are rejected, you can stay and appeal it. And the quote I love comes from Lee Gallant, deputy director of one of the ACLU's immigrant rights projects. This will mean that thousands of current and future non-citizens will not be sent back to potential death without a federal court looking at their case.
See, that's a lie, too. It's not potential death. The same news reports yesterday, it was even in the New York Times, said that the murder rates are down in all these countries, that primarily people are coming for economic reasons.
They're poor.
So when you have a governor willing to lie, an ACLU idiot willing to lie, and it gets reported over and over by the lying press, nobody knows what to make of the world anymore. You can't get straight, honest information anymore.
All right, we got more coming up, including, at least from the perspective of today, the most likely challenger to Trump in the election next year.